Hello friends, welcome to my channel. It's Rachel here, and today I am just going to start with, chatting about what I am making because I've already kind of started on it, you can see here, and then I'll get into the embellishing part in a moment and I'll speed it up a bit and do a voiceover. So today I'm doing a video for Clique Kits, and I am using a kit that is full of Pinkfresh Studio The Best Day collection. It's a very cute collection. I love it. And my friend Laurel and I actually challenged each other to make, well, she challenged me, really, to make a little traveler's notebook. So this is where I'm at right now. She's like the queen of traveler's notebooks, and they scare me. But we decided to use the same collection, and so we picked the Best Day collection, and yeah, we're just gonna go for it. And so I am going to make mine here today. And I'll link to Laurel's channel down below if she puts up a process video or not, but I'll put her Instagram down below as well in case, you want a little bit of inspiration for this collection. It's such a cute collection. I love the papers. Okay, enough chatter. I'll show you where I'm at. So this is where I'm at right now. It's not perfect. Like I said, my first real traveler's notebook. I've made little ones before for Happy Mail, but this is like my first real one from scratch. For my cover, I used this scalloped punch for the edges, and I actually did the back cover like that as well. And then I used some scraps of paper to do like this design here. And I used Amber Bambi Deer's tutorial, so I'll link that down below just for like some tips and stuff like that and some inspiration. And yeah, so in here we open it up, we have a smaller page, and then this page has the trim, and I just like how that like peeks out. And then we have a circular page, and I sewed most of the pages, not all of them, but most of them. I actually just used a plate to cut this out. I cut it to 8x8 and then used a plate that was the right size and cut it out, so that kind of worked out nicely. If you don't have, I do have a machine to cut it, but I decided to make things simple and it worked just fine. And then we have a little flip page here, and that's the end. But I am now going to add different pockets and pullouts and different things like that. I don't have photos for this particular album right now, so I'm not going to fill it with photos, but I thought this would be a good start. So I'll do this, and then one day I'll fill it with photos. But let's get to the process of embellishing this as much as I, get into, at least without photos. And I hope you enjoy and feel inspired. Check the links down below for Clique Kits if you want to get your hands on these kits as well. Okay, so now it's time to do the fun part, the embellishing, the pockets. Of course, there'll be so much more embellishing that I want to do once I have the pictures in here, but I haven't done that yet, so we will do just the basics of embellishing. I have an idea of what I think I'll do for this album. I think I might make this an album of when we first got Remy. We took a lot of photos when she was a baby kitten, and there's just so many cute pictures of her and Remy together, or her and Harvey together, that I don't really want to put it in my daily or weekly or whatever, my regular scrapbook Project Life album, because I think it would just take up so many days. And yeah, so I think it would be great to make an album just specifically for those first couple of days of having Remy and her as a little baby kitten. Anyway, so as you could see for my cover, I used one of those circular elements for the front just to make it simple, and I put it up on foam to give it a little height so that it didn't blend in with the background too much. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of pocket situation to do here. So what I decide to use is the florals to make a little tuck pocket for this little tag. I can put pictures in it, whatever I want. And I can also adhere pictures on the back and then put some pictures in this little pocket, and then also do some journaling on this tag if I want as well, and kind of keep it a little bit hidden, but makes it look a little bit decorative. So kind of has dual purposes. I did sewing on a lot of the pages. I know it might be a little bit hard to tell in this particular spot because the pages are so light and it's not really zoomed in, but hopefully when you can see the project as a full thing, you'll be able to see the sewing that I've done. And yeah, so I'm actually going to make 4 envelopes, and I'm going to put them on that middle page. That's like the page that's the same pattern on both sides because it's the middle page, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do 4 little envelopes there, and I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and I'm making the smallest size, the gift card size, to make these envelopes. And it's the perfect size to fit 4 on this page. And I love the papers in this collection. I think they're so fun. The florals are just so beautiful. I love the blues in this collection, all the different colors. So that is what I'm working on here, just attaching this envelope together. If I would have thought about it ahead of time, I would have totally sewn on them, but of course I did not. And there are the 4 different envelopes. I kind of overlapped them differently. One had the flap over top of the other envelope and the other one had it underneath. I don't think it really matters, but I can definitely fill those envelopes with pictures. So that'll be great. And next I decided to make a little cluster. So that is the next thing that I'm working on, and I didn't really know in that moment what page it was going on, but I do find a spot for it. So I grab some of the cut aparts, and then I grab some doilies, a pink doily and a white doily from my stash, and just make like a little, very simple little cluster. Nothing crazy because I don't know exactly what will go there in the end, so I didn't want to fill it up too much. But just trying to figure out which page here it should go on. So this is the one I decide, and I'm going to adhere it down. This collection comes, or this kit comes with some fun elements. You've got some beautiful papers, stickers, 2 ephemera packs, those circle elements, and the alphas. So there is tons of supplies to make any kinds of projects that you're looking to make. So I'm making here a traveler's notebook, but I've also made lots of scrapbook layouts with this collection, and you could do happy mail, 3D projects, whatever you're into. There's cut apart, so you could do project life spreads, tag flip, so many different options with this collection. I think it's so cute. And now I'm kind of making a cluster on the top of one of the pages. I wanted to kind of have some poking out here. I just like the way that looks in projects where you have things poking out the top or the side. So I decided to do a little cluster here with that camera and this ticket and the glasses, and I add a few more things later on that I think look really cute. So yeah, I think that's like a fun element to kind of make it look more like a junk journal, to have things like popping out, and I think that looks really cool. So that's what I've done there. And this page, I wasn't sure if I should embellish it or not, but in the end I decided to leave it blank how it is, just because I don't know what it'll be like once I add the photos. I feel like a lot of it will get covered up, but maybe the bottom parts of those envelopes won't, so I might want to add stuff later on. I just don't know, or I might add photos on top of the envelopes. I have no idea, so I just left it empty for me to fill out when I put the photos in. So yeah, I just added that there. I like the way that looks, and I'm going to work on adding some tabs. So I had a lot of leftover papers after cutting these out and making the cover and everything. So I'm going to use some of those leftover papers to cut out some tabs that I'm going to again put along the top because I like just the things hanging out. It kind of reminds me of Bible journaling, where I have so many like tabs and paper clips and things and fabrics hanging out the top. So it kind of reminds me of that look, which I really like. So I'm just trying to figure out the placement of where to add these tabs where you'll actually be able to see them, and that they're not hidden behind other things, and that it looks kind of junk journalish, like I said earlier. So this is a good way to use up little scraps, is to make tabs or punch out, whatever, using your punch. There's so many different things, so many different punches out there that you can use, little hearts or flowers or tickets or labels or whatever you can figure out. So now I'm going to try and do some sort of cluster here, just trying out different ephemera pieces. And then that's when I decided to pull out my stickers because I hadn't done that yet. So I'm going to make a little cluster of stickers here, kind of going down the page a bit, but still left with enough room to add photos when the time comes. I try to use these circle embellishments and don't have too much success. I thought those would look cool popping out the top, but you couldn't really see them because my first cluster at the front kind of was a little bit bigger. I should have done the bigger ones at the back, but that's totally fine. It still worked out. And I decided to do some clustering at the bottom here, and there's still tons of room for some photos if I want to add those or when I add those. But yeah, you can see me going a lot back and forth just because I wasn't sure what to do on these pages and I wanted it to be creative and fun. So I did my best, and there are probably so many other cooler things I could do, but in the end, I'm just so happy with how it turned out, and I'm excited to add photos in the future. I add a little circle embellishment there to act like a tab since that part opens, and then I'm going to add a little tuck spot or a little pocket down in that corner as well using this cut apart. The cut apart sheet was really handy for this project. I could just cut things out and yeah, for pockets and clusters and things like that. So that was definitely handy, and I will still use more after this. Yeah, and I decided to use this little tag. I kind of cut it to make it my own, and I sew the tag as well to give this page a little bit more texture. I'm going to put some yarn through here, and just again for another different kind of texture in this book, and so I can add some journaling on there or do a photo on the back or whatever I feel like doing. I can tuck more photos in there as well. I do add an embellishment on here. Which one? Oh yeah, there we go. That's the one I add. And for a lot of these stickers and embellishments, I put foam on the back of it to give it some dimension because there's not too much dimension in this book, but also I didn't want to make it too crazy. I decided to make this little flip up. Just cut out a piece of paper and folded it, you know, like a centimeter or something to make the flap. Nothing precise, just as best as I can. And I sewed some zigzag at the bottom, except it's a little hard to see, like I said, with the white thread, but you can tell in person, and then added that sticker with some foam on the back as well. And I am trying to decide what to do here on this page, and I land on making a little pocket. So that is what I'm doing here. Just making sure it's a good size, and I'm using my circle punch and just cutting half of it to make this little pocket. Gonna adhere that on, and I did do some sewing on that as well, so I like the way that looks. I'm going to do a little cluster on this page, and then I add some of those cut apart pieces into the pocket as well, and in the future maybe there'll be some photos or something that goes in that pocket, but for now we have the cut aparts, and I can do journaling on the back or whatever I wanted to do, and I did some sewing on the cut aparts as well. And I'm taking out my gems and enamel dots so that I can scatter them around the book. I didn't have any for this collection, I don't think, in this kit, so I just grabbed some from my stash. So I'm just trying so hard to use up, you know, using up those gems. So that felt good to use a lot of those and just scatter them around the book. And then it kind of looks cohesive when you're using similar gems, and it kind of all flows together. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to add some puffy word stickers as well. Oh, and I added a charm. I used like a hole punch and what are those called? Eyelets or whatever, and did that and added some charms from my stash, actually from previous kits that I just added to my stash. So yeah, go ahead, check out Clique Kits and see what kind of fun kits you can find. They have some really cool, like eco-friendly kits that are fun if you're into that. So they have some really unique kits. So there's the charm that I was talking about. I added 2 tassel charms to it and then a bead. And here is a closer look at the whole traveler's notebook. Yeah, that trim on the side is not perfect, but it's fine. I think it still all looks really good. I love the circle page. And when I add photos to it, I can really personalize it to the project and the event that I'm documenting. So I just like how this is pretty general. And yeah, so this is my little flip through. Let me know what you think down below. And thanks so much for watching. I'm going to leave the links down below for Clique Kits if you want to check out their kits. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!